Since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has come to an end with its last wave of the Booster Course Pass, including the likes of DK Mountain and Wii Rainbow Road, it is now time to see what the future holds for Mario Kart. What better way to predict the future than to predict what retro tracks should be included in the next game. This is my first ever speculation video, but it's also more of a prediction video as well. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into the nitty gritty of it all. First up is the Shell Cup. I think I did a decent job of putting what retro tracks should be included. First up is Luigi's Raceway from Mario Kart 64. This actually made a return in Mario Kart 7, and it's not returned since. Now, I don't keep track of what tracks made it into Mario Kart Tour, so it's uncertain if this track made it into Tour or not. Regardless though, I still like this track. I like the power we have the big screen above the tunnel. That's a nice touch. Next up is our first fan favorite track, Toad's Factory. I still cannot believe that this track didn't make it into the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The music is great, and the vibes is amazing. I mean, it's a factory for crying out loud. You can't get much cooler than that. Well, maybe you can, but I'll get to that. Our third track is the first Super Circuit track in the video, Cheap Island. I remember seeing this being modded into Mario Kart Wii in one of Professor's videos, particularly the one where someone modded him into the game with his own custom voice clips. Anyway, this is a very pretty looking track. It's not often that you get beach tracks that take place at sunrise. Now, this is the first track I can say that's in Tour. I know that for sure. And finally, wrapping up the Shell Cup is Luigi's Mansion from Mario Kart DS. Another fan favorite, and I can totally see why. The atmosphere is hauntingly stunning, and this is another track that also made it into Tour as well. I hope this track makes it into the next Mario Kart, because I'll be so pissed if it isn't. So I think out of all those I picked, fans would definitely want to see Toad's Factory and Luigi's Mansion return. Those would definitely be awesome. Next up is the Banana Cup, and for this one, there's a few odd ones I picked here just for the sake of it. First off is Figure 8 Circuit. Now, hold your horses for just a split second. I know some people are going to ask, why this track? It's so lackluster. Well, here we are for a second. Not only would we get some fan favorites like Toad's Factory, Luigi's Mansion, and a few others we'll get to later, we'd also get tracks like this, which do kind of stink, but would be cool to see return. Me personally, I think this has a chance of returning, and possibly being made even better. Next is Vanilla Lake. Now, I don't know which Vanilla Lake I would like to see return, so I'm just gonna add all of them here just for the sake of it. Though it would be kinda cool to see the first one return, but who really knows at this point. It all depends on which Vanilla Lake Nintendo decides to add it. The third track is Wario Shipyard from Mario Kart 7. I know there's fans of this track out there, and I can see why. It's a very unique looking track, and it definitely could make a return in this game, and again, be made to look better than the original. And the last track of this cup is Mushroom Gorge. Now, I know this track was remade in Mario Kart 8, but personally, I want to see a version of Mushroom Gorge with the same level of graphics as the base Mario Kart 8 game, as the version in the Booster Course Pass is kind of alright, in my opinion. So really, this cup isn't that exciting in the grand scheme of things, but I think fans would want to see Wario Shipyard the most out of those four I picked. Next is the Leaf Cup, and this is one of the ones that I put the least amount of thought into it. So first is Coconut Mall. Now, again, I know that this track was in 8 Deluxe DLC, but still, I think this track needs to be brought back because, while I still loved racing on the 8 Deluxe version, I could tell that there was a lot of things that need to be improved, especially the cars at the end. Next up is Delfino Square. I would kill to see this track return to the next Mario Kart game, as I am quite nostalgic for this track. And seeing this return in Mario Kart Wii as well was pretty cool, I would say. Next is Ghost Valley 2. Now, the reason why I'm picking this one is because it's the best Ghost Valley track out there. Plus, it was in Mario Kart Wii as well, so that's what's something, right? I'm not a huge fan of the SNES tracks, but this is one of the better ones, in my opinion. And finally is Waluigi Pinball. Again, it was in 8 Deluxe's DLC, but I just like seeing this track a lot. Maybe it's just Mario Kart DS is nostalgia kicking my butt right now, but still. So overall, not that much. Though, I think fans would want to see Duffy Square. That one would definitely be awesome. Next is the Lightning Cup. Now this is the big one, as there is definitely a lot of great tracks that I picked. First is Peach Beach. I actually quite like this track. I know it's a little bit generic, but this gives me Mario Sunshine vibes, especially with the catacombs. Next is Calamari Desert. Now, again, this was in 8 Deluxe's DLC, but I really like seeing this track. It's one of the better desert tracks out there. Yes, I know, there are a ton of desert tracks out there. Personally, Yoshi Desert would be pretty cool to see again, but you never know, honestly. You never know what track Nintendo could add in. Whether it's like Yoshi Desert or Dry Dry Ruins and stuff like that. Those would be cool. But the big ones in this cup are Woohoo Loop and Airship Fortress. Woohoo Loop is my all-time favorite Mario Kart 7 track. And I just cannot believe that it didn't make it into 8 Deluxe. Same thing with Maka Woohoo as well. Airship Fortress is also up there in terms of my favorite Mario Kart tracks of all time. I mean, it's a fucking fortress for God's sake. And it just pains me that this wasn't 8 Deluxe. Like, come on, Nintendo. So yeah, I would love it if the final 2 tracks that I picked were in this game. And I'm sure many times will agree with me on that front as well. And finally is the Triforce Cup, which would be a returning cup from Mario Kart 8. First is Koopa Troopa Beach, which is one of my favorite beach tracks. Going around the giant Koopa Rock is so satisfying, and I love the music as well. Plus, this is another track that was in tour as well, so there's a possibility that this could return in the next Mario Kart game, especially since that the Airship Fortress, not Airship Fortress, what am I talking about, Sunshine Airport had a glimpse of it in the glider section, so I think that's a possibility of being in it. Next is Mushroom Bridge. This is another fan favorite, and I can easily see why. I recently played this in Mario Kart DS, and it was a great experience. The music is great, and this also happened to be appearing in Tour as well. And the fact it was in Tour could have returned in 8 Deluxe, but it didn't. So hopefully in the next game, we will get to see it. And of course, we have to end things off on a Bowser's Castle and a Rainbow Road. The Bowser's Castle I picked is the N64 version. This is one of my favorite Bowser's Castle tracks. I love watching out for the bombs, and going into the courtyard was pretty cool. I might be one of the few people who actually doesn't mind the roof ending. I thought that was a cool thing. As for the Rainbow Road I picked, it's gonna be one I'm probably gonna get some slack for. But it's the DS one. Simply because this is one of the few Rainbow Roads that has not been remade whatsoever. I think this has a chance to be brought back. Plus, the loop-de-loops would be great for anti-gravity purposes. So overall, the one track that I'm sure fans would want to see the most is Mushroom Bridge. That would definitely be cool. But let me know in the comments below what retro tracks you think should be in the next Mario Kart game. Do you agree with me, or do you have your own personal preference? I'd love to know. Thanks for watching, you guys. I will see you all very soon. Bye!